I gratefully acknowledge this series was recorded on the unceded traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. Indigenous peoples have maintained stewardship and jurisdiction over these lands since time immemorial.
I got extensions for Pride.
Yeah.
So I had the long braids in. Not a problem going to bathrooms. Like, it made everybody treat me so differently. Guys would talk to me like, no. You're very off base.
Welcome to Mistergendered, the show where we swap labels for lived experience and get curious about life beyond the binary. Today we meet Fiona Macdougall, a frontline healthcare worker at St. Paul's in Vancouver for 35 years, video game player, musician, and DJ who goes by DJ Slade. Let's join the conversation. Let's dig in. If you could start out by giving us a little snapshot of who you are today, like what's important things about you, culture, name, age. Age is good, if you will, because I think it's the context of when and where we grew up. Any of the things, pronouns, identity, all that stuff. Just a snapshot, and then we'll dig into how you got to here.
Sure. 53 years old. First generation of West Indian parents. My parents are both from St. Kitts in the British Virgin Islands, which really formed a lot of what I was as a child, but not now as an adult. But fairly strict parenting, very much in the church. Being raised a black child in Canada is interesting and polarizing at the same time.
Yeah.
But, here I am now. Now I know who I am, so.
Right. And are you gay?
I'm so gay.
Okay.
Well, I'm gay for my wife. But actually, yes, quite. Can't get away from it.
Okay. And so do you go by anything? Are you queer, lesbian, gay? Like, I mean, you don't have to be any of it.
I would say I would claim lesbian, but it is because of being 53. When I was a kid, that word was icky a little bit. But I just tell people I'm gay. It's easier, I mean, I don't really fit into too many boxes anymore, but definitely gay.
Your own darn box. Thank you.
You know it. If I fits, I sits.
Okay, well, you're gay. You can stay. No, just kidding.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, let's go back a bit and just talk about, it's interesting kind of, I know from chatting to you, it's like being this age, there's a certain level of being like, I am who I am, and you don't give too many you-know-whats.
Yep.
But let's talk about, kind of not phases, but sort of like the phases of life that you've been through that kind of, when you first came out, what was that like? How did you get from being that kid in a super strict religious place to being a big old gay?
Rebellion. But being a kid was weird because I have always been attracted to the fairer sex, as they say.
So right away.
Always.
That you
always,
all you can
always.
remember.
Oh, yeah. You play the game, though, because you have to. I remember, maybe grade 2, I gave an anonymous Valentine to a girl in my class. And the reaction to it, luckily it was anonymous. The reaction to it was like, what if it's a girl? Oh my God, that's so gross. So under the radar, fly under the radar for a long time. Yeah. I mean, I was a very equal opportunity kind of teenager. So, yeah, I had boyfriends, but I also had clandestine girlfriends. And then, you know, the late teens, then you really got to play the game, you know, long hair, stilettos, mini skirts, which is crazy to me thinking about it now.
Whoa. Okay, whoa. Do you have any pictures of that? Or have you burnt them all?
I have one set of pictures from my prom, or grad as we say, with my long hair and my gloves up to here and my dress that I designed. Yeah, that was, just hang my head in shame sometimes.
But do you remember how you, like, if you think back, do you remember how you felt at the time? Were you like, oh my God, or not even kind of aware that you were compromising?
Oh, I was aware. I was very aware. That at that point, it felt like cosplay. Earlier, like my mother would try her best to make me wear skirts and dresses, and that was uck. You know, it was just horrible. You know, if I could, I would wreck them. Like, you know, just like she'd give me dolls, I'd tear the hair out and throw it down the stairs. And, yeah,
oh, it's broken now.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, sorry, can't play with that. But like, you know, prom and going to clubs and whatnot when I was like 18, 19, 17, you have to dress the part, you know, in the midwinter, you know, like the mini skirts and the stilettos. I mean, it was easy. You got things you wanted, you know, like I got all the drinks I wanted. I got, you know, and then, I don't really remember a coming out, just a shift. I did tell my mother in a letter. That was the beginning of our downfall, her and I. Did not tell my grandmother. But my grandmother really rode with it. She was like, who's that girl that keeps coming with you? And I'm like, it's a friend of mine. It's fine. But I never really came out. And then in my 20s, I was done. I was just like, I'm just going to be gay like I am.
Right.
And it was fine. You know, it wasn't difficult. Shaved my head, you know, didn't grow it back until like last year. Or this year, actually, in fact. But yeah. And
was there like a shift then in like shaving the head? Was like no more stilettos, no more, like, was there a change in a little bit of the clothing?
Like wearing comfortable clothes. It was amazing. You know, like I love wearing like masculine clothes. I mean, I don't even know what that means, but you know,
well,
like for instance, like, but also these are just clothes, you know, I just like, okay. But yeah. So also men's clothes actually last longer. They're made better. So,
right.
But yeah, this was so much more comfortable, like in myself and, you know, you know, so, yeah.
And were there ever, you know, were you influenced by media, or did you ever see yourself, or was there anything that kind of helped you kind of come to that place? Either people in your life or, you know, like I said, things in media or films or PE teachers. I don't know.
PE teachers. Why are they always gay? That's so funny. No, not really media. It was sort of getting out into the world. You know, like I worked at St. Paul's. Like I've worked at St. Paul's since 1990. So it was being at St. Paul's, going to the Fountainhead, making friends that were like me, you know, and
you just knew to go there because
actually I had been walking by and I was like, what? And I went in there on my lunch break and I was like, this is kind of interesting, and started going there more often. And then it became my local. I was there like 4 out of however many days, you know. You know, made friends from the pub, met my wife in that pub. Weirdly.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know this.
But we were friends for a long time first. So yeah. She was with somebody else. I was with somebody else when we met. But yeah, we met there. We'd go there and play, like, me and my friends would go there and play pool all the time. And just be like, you know, rapscallions, you know. So, and it just, I think that my coming out was a little bit not unusual, but different than other people's, is that I just decided that this is what I'm going to do and everybody's going to get used to it. You know, like, and so this is how I dressed. You know, I just talk about my girlfriends at work, you know, nobody blinked an eye, you know.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. Lucky, super lucky. But but
well,
also
it takes the courage too to do it and be okay with it. You know, not everybody can do that.
true, but also it's a weird manipulation of gender. I mean, sorry, of race too, because nobody will say anything to me because you know, it's a terrible thing, but it's true.
Whatever, work it.
And I'm just like, here I am.
Yeah.
What do you want to say about it? You know, and everybody actually has been always quite accepting. You know,
Right.
you know. Also, that's the best place to go to the bathroom in because nobody cares. You know?
Right. Right. And then what about family? Like, has that evolved or plateaued or?
Oh, it dropped off. I am estranged from all of my family, but not for anything to do with, you know, my orientation, just difficulties in general. You know, I think that it's just, well, maybe, but it's also just once my grandmother died, she was the person that held us all together.
Right.
And once she died, I was like, I don't have to put up with any of this anymore. You know, like, the general public treats me better than my family. And I was like, you know what? I don't need to feel bad. And I've felt much better since, you know, which is funny because like my wife's family has embraced me like one of their own, which is incredible, So,
Right.
yeah. So now I'm a Macdougall.
You are
Of the clan.
of the clan. Yeah. So interracial marriage.
Yes. Yep. Like you do in Vancouver. I mean, that's pretty common. You know, it is. It's very common for Vancouver.
Sure.
You know, I mean, back east, it's different. Where my family actually lives, you know, but yeah, interracial, amazing marriage, amazing wife.
Yeah, I can attest.
I mean,
That was my wife. No, sorry. So I mean, it's inspiring that you have been able to just kind of like show up and go like, yeah, here I am. It's me. Are there ever times where you think about or check yourself or like, I'm going here, so how am I going to dress or how are going to people respond? Or
always.
Yeah.
It's, for instance, something simple as coming west, you know, like in Vancouver, like once I cross over to the west, then, you know, there's a certain
you gotta take your
vigilance,
passport out.
you know,
Like,
exactly. There's a certain vigilance that you have to have, you know, like
oh, interesting.
people. But I'll tell you what, I really get instant service in stores. You know, it's quite funny. People are like, "Can I help you?"
Like, are you talking west or just anywhere?
Anywhere, but mostly west. Like, you know, but anywhere. I get instant service because people think I'm going to steal things, but I mean, the general public and the general white male public sometimes gives me grief. Like going out, like if we, like, you know, like years ago, let's be honest, I don't go to clubs anymore, but like going to clubs or, you know, like that's where I get the most pushback. And I can never figure out what it is. Is it because they think I'm a man? It's not because they think I'm a man, but sometimes it's because they recognize me as a woman, but I look like a man to them. So therefore it's aggravating to them. It's kind of a weird thing. So sometimes I have that, you know.
How are the washrooms for you?
Oh, the washrooms are a challenge. The washrooms have been a challenge. My first memory, I believe, was when I was 8. And my father worked at Woodward's, and me and my mother were there or whatever, shopping before we were going to go home with my father when he was off shift. And I went into the bathroom, and a woman physically shoved me out of the bathroom. Yeah, saying that I was in the wrong bathroom. And then I went back to my mother and told her that the lady would not let me use the bathroom. And my mother, of course, got irate and went in and confronted the woman. But that's my first memory of that. And it's always happened. It happens even now, all the time. I mean, now my response is different. You know, like I always be like, exactly. Like, you know, the raising of the voice, you know, and like trying to make yourself as small as possible, but boobs out, you know, like, but now I'm just like, I'm 53 years old. I know which bathroom I should be in. Mm-hmm. And then they're just like, oh, and they get really embarrassed. And I just think, come on, like, does it matter? I don't think so. But recently, the surprise for me was I got extensions for Pride. Yeah. So I had the long braids in. Not a problem going to bathrooms. Like, it made everybody treat me so differently. It was exceptionally strange to me. Like, everybody would come up and they would talk to me. Guys would talk to me. Like, no. You're very off base. You know, like, it was very strange.
That has been so surreal.
Oh, I didn't love it. It was very, very weird. And I was like, oh no.
Kind of put you off kilter almost.
Yeah,
like,
I was just like, I have to cut these off immediately.
Are you not seeing? That's just so fascinating.
Yeah, people saw me differently, and I felt not just viewed differently, but like judged differently. You know, like I was part of some club that I didn't want to be in. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Which was very unusual, but it was an interesting experiment.
Yeah, and because I think you said you hadn't had long hair since.
No, since like
high school or something, or 18, 20 or something.
Yeah, 20.
And this was very, for the folks out there, it was very long hair.
Super long, like down to my butt.
Down to your butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
I got blue and pink and black extensions. It was excellent. But
yeah, they were awesome.
But it was very, very unusual. Just the reaction of people. And it's like, it's funny how more acceptable we can be if we are leaning more towards the norm. And I was like, I'm out. I'm out. I like being me. I don't like, I felt like I've been, I don't know. I also understood how lesbians that tend to the more feminine side feel unseen. Because my people didn't see me anymore. Like, because like like anybody that came into the hospital, like usually, you know, my people see me, you know, my lesbians are like, you know, we give the nod, you know, we know each other. They didn't see me at all. It was insane. I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. But yeah, it was like, wow, just hair. Just hair makes a huge difference, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah. But the bathroom thing, it doesn't bother me as much. It used to make me so incredibly angry and frustrated all the time, because there's a certain feeling of shame that comes with it. Like when there's like a woman in a bathroom that's like, you're not supposed to be here. You know, like you just think.
It's very loaded because they are, my experience is they're coming from a place of, it's a continuum of a little bit of fear to outright hate.
Yeah.
And kind of violence, potentially, right? Like they're just, they hate who you are.
Oh, absolutely. When I was, I'm a person of locals. Like I just go to the same place all the time. But when I was living in New Westminster in my 20s, I used to go to the same bar all the time. And so I knew everybody there, you know? So one day I went, like, as usual, one night I go to the bathroom and like, you know, go to the bathroom, come out, washing my hands. And one of the bouncers, Jason, busts into the bathroom and he's looking around. And I'm like, what's up, bro? And he's like, some girl said there was a guy in here. And I'm like, oh, that's me. That's just me. She thought I was a guy. And he was like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's just happens all the time. He's like, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, I know, and go on about my business. But that was one of the times that I was just like, it was so funny because he just bust in like a big guy and he was like,
I'm gonna get him.
And looking past me like, did you see this guy? And I was like, no, it
was just me,
just little old me trying to go to the bathroom like a normal person.
Right.
But yeah, always happened. Still does all the time. And like the funny thing is that getting with Jocelyn, like we've been together for 14 years now. Well, we've been married for 14. She would always, like from the get, she'd be like, I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. She'd be like, let's go. So she'd come with me all the time, you know, because sometimes it's better if you take a girl with you.
I still do that in certain situations. Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
Or I hold it.
Exactly. I know. Like I've got a cast iron bladder. But it's true. It's true. Sometimes you gotta take a girl with you.
Yep. Yeah.
Still ridiculous. Because I mean, I'm just minding my business. I'm just going.
I'm just peeing.
I'm not even here to talk to you. Like, just like,
yeah, it's just that, you know, it's entitlement. It's just that, wow, you're here to tell us all. You know, it's just that people don't even stop to think about. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe this is none of your business.
It's not my business, you know, like, at all.
You know, like I don't care.
Maybe
like,
I'll just trust that you're in the right place.
I don't care that you didn't wash your hands. Like, I'm not bothering you.
Hey, you didn't wash your hands.
I know.
That is far more important.
Really, I mean, but yeah, it's ongoing.
Yeah. Ever thought about having a female identifying name? Like, good with it, not good with it? Have you ever just thought about it, or?
Yeah, I've just gotten used to it. I don't like it. It means white. So, I mean, there's so many things to not like about having such a feminine name. But I've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, most people call me by my DJ name now too. So, which
That's
I love,
good.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very not me. Like, and especially now paired with my last name. Talk to people on the phone. I'm like, you have no idea what
who you're talking like.
To. Just like, it's fine. But yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Like after a while, you just like, it's just your name, you know? It's just like, it's like everything else to me. It's not my identity. It's like, just like my body's not my identity. It's a skin suit. Like the older I get, the less I care about things, you know?
Right.
But I find that other people care more than I do.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But I'm far more comfortable in my skin than I've ever been.
Nice.
Yeah. Once I hit 40, you know, the not giving anything. And then once I hit 50, I was like, this is
nothing.
me. This is me.
Yeah.
Like it or don't.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah.
How about clothes and like buying clothes, and what's that experience like?
Pretty good. It used to be bad because I used to go to the Bay to buy suits. And they were very precious about it. Suits were for men, so they didn't want to help you, you know? Like,
oh, because you actually found somebody who worked at the Bay.
I know.
If they're close, we can say this now. But it's like, oh, you actually found a person in the place that worked. Okay.
But also remember, I am black, so I get service.
They were on you. That's so true. That's so true.
I could see them watching me. I'm like,
let's just start now. Let's just do it.
And they're just like, we probably don't have what you're looking for. That was a lot. I was like, but now I found a good store. Tip top, go.
That's good.
Yeah. But now I find, like when I'm wearing like more masculine clothes, like really like dressing up, yeah, that's actually quite good. I found a perfect place. They're very good. But other than that, I just wear like this jeans, t-shirt, you know, which I don't even have to go to the store anymore. Which is amazing. Find one that fits, order 5.
Right.
You know?
Love it. Love it. All right. Let's move on to some fun, kind of quick and snappy things.
Okay.
Yeah?
Ready.
Okay. So, what's the first thing you do in the morning?
Put my glasses on.
Good.
First thing I do in the morning after I put my glasses on, I put on YouTube and see what is going on in the world. I am addicted to YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. Confessions. What kind of things are you checking on?
America. You know. But also, you know, I love to watch documentaries like nobody's business. So I just feel like, is there any new documentary out that I haven't seen? Is there any more women's basketball games that I haven't seen? I'm very into that right now.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's quite amazing how accessible, even just in the last year, how much you can watch women's sports.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's fantastic. Oh my gosh.
Talk about gay.
I know. Rugby?
Okay. That's another podcast. We'll do a whole thing on...
I'm in.
I'm in. Okay, how about go-to comfort food?
Lumpia. That will be my last meal. Lumpia would be my last meal.
Oh,
They're
yeah?
like little pork spring rolls. Yeah.
Is there a place in town where you like to get?
No, I never do because I work with all the Filipino people in the world.
Oh, you just get them.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's
they
amazing.
just come to me. It's so good.
Right. Cat or dog?
Cat.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
100%. Do you have a
cats.
cat?
I am a cat. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No.
Didn't know. Those are your
cannot.
pronouns? Cat?
Yes, exactly.
Your pronouns are...
You may pet me with your eyes. Only twice.
Are you a go to a big old pride parade or go to a quiet beach?
Are these my only choices?
No, you can just...
Because I probably would not leave the house to begin with.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah, I'd rather be at home and read.
Be at home. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's
I can do the pride parade, the big party things.
right.
But very, very sparingly.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
City or forest?
Forest. Unless it's Barcelona.
Okay. I love how you went there. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Barcelona, is that your fave city?
Second favorite. First favorite is Reykjavik in Iceland. Love Iceland.
What about a queer icon that you'd love to hang out with?
Queer icon. Does this mean it's a person that queers love, or is this person queer?
Oh, interesting. You know, it could be either. Whatever.
So a non-queer, Kate Blanchett. Queer, Holland Taylor.
Love it. I love that you got very specific about that. Hadn't thought of that, but it's so true because there's people who are so important to queers who
Totally.
are not queer. And where would we be without them?
I mean, Catherine Hahn, actually. But yeah,
The list goes
I like
on.
that. I do like that. Like, I like the fact that there are straight women that we love, that love us.
That love us.
Yes.
Most importantly.
Very much so.
Not the ones who hate us.
No.
Yeah. And then song or music or genre, like what gets you, if you get up and dance, what gets you up? You just be like, oh, I gotta go.
Yeah, so many. I'm a DJ, so many. Anything Beyonce, though.
Okay.
The queen of all of us.
Okay.
You know?
I know we kind of talked about clothes, but is this just kind of what you feel great in, or do you love a suit? Like,
I
what
love a
makes you
three-piece
feel?
suit. I
Yeah.
love a three-piece suit.
Yeah.
There's something about you put it on, you feel like a whole. It's, it's code switching a little bit, but
Yeah.
there's something about it.
Yeah.
I do feel good about it.
Yeah. We need to find more opportunities to wear such suits
100%.
because
I
I love them.
We have to make those in. We have to make it happen.
Yes.
Come on.
Just-
We have some highfalutin party.
And then what about favorite place to go in Vancouver? Home, I realize you wouldn't want to actually go out, but if you had to go out and,
My favorite place in Vancouver?
yeah.
The Museum of Anthropology. I love it. Love it. I could go there every week for some reason. It's so
Definitely a shout out to that place.
It's so quiet. It's just like there's a feeling of being in there that is so soothing.
You're so right. I hadn't thought of that because
Yeah,
a
it's
lot of
just-
museums are like, or art galleries, I find like I get
there's something-
overstimulated.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But that place is very
It's
serene.
so nice. It's so nice.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I always have. Because, as a kid, we'd go there for
Field trips?
field trips. Yeah. Love it.
Representation. Think about all that we've talked about and, what does it mean to you? What is the representation? Why is it important? Is it important? What does it mean? What does it look like?
Representation to me as a gay woman, like that wasn't as important to me. It was more about being represented as Black and not being the first person to die. That's the thing.
Sure.
Now later on, it's nice to actually have like so many shows,
Artists,
singers. Yes.
everywhere.
Like, it's fantastic. And I love that for the younger people. I love that for the come ups, because it probably would have made a huge difference because it's everywhere. I think it's easier for kids to come out now because their parents are already familiar with this. Like, I mean, let's be honest, it's always going to be difficult for some parts of the, parts of our society. But, like, I think that there's something to be said for cis het people to see us being represented also, like, in which we are not being shown as, the throwaway character that's going to die, or, like, that they can see psychotic, like we are people, and we are normal people that have lived normal lives, and
very talented.
Like, I just think, and can be represented as people that, because everybody, it's important to doctors, lawyers, blah, 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 blah. But, you can see them. And I think that for kids and for their parents and for everybody, it's important, I think. But I think that representation is important in anything. I think that it's important for, young girls to know that they can actually grow up and be scientists. I think, like, in everything, representation is important for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, I also think, let them be together. Like, I grew up on Xena. Like, come on. Let them be together for crying out loud. The heart breaks, right?
The heart breaks. Yeah. It's interesting is, speaking of YouTube, I know I've gone some real rabbit holes with. There's a lot of people who do these kind of compilations of TV shows, but they only take the best parts.
Yeah.
Like, they leave out then she got killed, then she got sick, then they broke up, then and so you can kind of like watch it and just think nothing bad ever happened, and it's kind of a good way to consume it for me. Also,
fan fiction. Fan fiction is excellent for that, because people take the characters and they have them together and happily ever after,
right?
And I think and also fan fiction has been amazing because I think people, like, these are regular people and they write like a dream. So I edit fan fiction. So
do you?
Yeah, for some people, yeah.
Hey, hidden talent there. Okay, so what would you say to that younger self of yours, or to a young person out there who's looking at you right now saying, oh man, I can.
You can. Everything will be all right. Find your family. Find your family, because that's what's going to get you through.
So like, true. Being chosen family.
Chosen family. Yes, absolutely. Like, it's everything. It's everything. I think community is everything. Being able to connect is everything.
And be yourself.
And be yourself. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
And, like, you are loved. You are lovable. Like, absolutely.
We love you.
We love you.
And what are you hopeful for, if anything, in this climate? Is there anything?
Wow. Come on. Just that. Like, the current climate is pushing us toward connection. It's pushing us toward building community, because we have to. Like, that's the only way forward.
Yeah, across difference, right?
100%. So,
yeah.
Like, that's it. And geez, just keep holding on.
Right?
Keep holding on. Like, it's a lot, and it's tough. Whew. But yeah, that's what we gotta hold on to hope. We'll get this.
We got it.
This.
All right. Thank you. That's so awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. That was so great. Thanks for listening to Mr. Gendered, the show where we swap labels for lived experience and get curious about life beyond the binary. On Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, Mr. Gendered Pod, web, MrGendered.com, email, hello@MrGendered.com. That's MISTER. The doc, Not Quite That, is at notquitethat.ca, free to watch at TELUS Originals, Optic TV, and Knowledge Network.